Shakespeare said, "To thine own self be true." What does this mean? In 1600, we were presented with what could be considered one of the most enduring mantras for life, when Polonius, the king's advisor in Hamlet, shared this sage wisdom with his son. Scholars will say that it means to stick to your principles, not to assimilate, to do what's in your true nature, to be authentic. The New Encyclopedia says that authenticity is the true, original state of human existence. The authentic life, one of meaning, value, joy, happiness, and freedom. I say it's the feeling of being in alignment, the fluency of life. Why does this matter, though? Our necessity to act in our authenticity has never been greater. In a society divided by identity, starving for connection, lacking understanding, and struggling to move forward, we must first find our way back to ourselves to find our way to each other. When you arrived here, you arrived with unique traits and qualities which were to impact how you show up in the world. You had experiences and hobbies that you connected to deeply, people and places that brought you alive. That said, have you ever woken up in the morning, looked in the mirror, and did not recognize the person staring back? Have you ever gone days, weeks, months, even years, not feeling truly connected to the people and places that you're encountering? Have you ever made statements like, "Oh, I'm just going through the motions"? And what happens when most of us feel this way? What happens when we are looking at the next day and not living in the current? When we wake up and we realize we're living a dream that doesn't belong to us? How does that make us feel on the inside? But more importantly, how does that cause us to show up to the outside world? For me, it was anger, frustration, indifference, apathy, jealousy, resentment, and exhaustion. When we consider those who sow hate in the world, do we assume that they're born that way? Or is it possible that their circumstances are not aligned with their purpose and their gifts in this world? When we think about the parent in a moment of exhaustion and road rage, do we say, "Oh, they're just naturally angry"? Or is it that their responsibilities have outstripped their moments of peace and joy? Where along the way did we lose ourselves and end up in a place that we can't quite recognize? In the journey of life, many of us, most of us, have succumbed to societal norms, some of which we connect with deeply and some that we do not. This disconnection creates moments of friction that we can't quite explain as we strive towards goals or seek to execute simple tasks. Have you ever fought so hard for something, and despite doing everything right, it escaped your grasp? Have you ever felt that there was a connection that could be so perfect for you, but the opportunity to engage was missed over and over again? No matter how hard you tried, things just didn't work out. Often, when we look back on these points of friction, we can see how whatever we were trying to accomplish simply wasn't meant for us. It wasn't aligned with our deeper goals, our values, who we are. Or if it was, maybe it was just in a way that we had yet to imagine. Further, our deep connection as a society to identity, the traits and the communities that we are born into and those that are thrust upon us by the world, make it very, very hard to be one's true self, as they prescribe a very specific way of being and an expectation about how the outside world should and will receive us. If you see me, or if you know me, you'll recognize a Black woman, well-educated, former college athlete, current investment banker, born, raised, and living in the South. With that, there are immediate assumptions that you will make about who I am and how I show up in this world. But how many of those assumptions are true? And what narratives do they create about me? And what responsibilities do they bestow upon me of which I have not asked for? To be one's true self is hard. It takes going back years, peeling back layers, and reconnecting to what feels good on the inside. but the benefits are many. Those operating in their authenticity are happier. They experience deeper, more meaningful connections. They find greater purpose in all the things that they do. They have high levels of self-confidence, strong mental health, and they have the ability to empathize with others. Couldn't our world stand for more of us to be operating from that place? What a gift that would be. What a gift we would be. And thinking about gifts, let's look back at pivotal people in history. Da Vinci, Einstein, Amelia Earhart, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Oprah Winfrey, Mark Zuckerberg. Love them or hate them, none of these people allowed themselves to succumb to the pressures of something bigger than them or to be defined by a norm. Their gifts to society are clear, and they illustrate that being different is an amazing gift. I know for some of us at times it can feel like a curse though. In a society that finds comfort in what is known, to stand out, to stand alone, to think differently, to see the world with varied perspective and embrace that every single day, it's uncomfortable. But the greatest gifts of our society did not come from a place of comfort, but from those who dared to tap into their hearts, their heads, and their souls and share that relationship with the world. The world needs your authenticity. Now, I recognize as well as anyone, this is not a journey from internal chaos to self-aligned and defined. Being an investment banker is not my first, second, third, or fourth love. Today, I get my greatest joy out of using that acumen to advise and invest in startup founders whose businesses I believe in. Charlotte has been great to me, but it's not the first choice for what I would consider my nomadic soul. And being a Black woman in these spaces and in general has never been the ease of life, but it has presented me with so many blessings for which I'm grateful. You see, the key is recognizing the mask that you wear and moving one step closer to removal every single day. So I won't advocate for you to quit your jobs or leave your families or move across the world, but I will challenge you to see a bit more of yourself every day and share that self with as many people as possible. When I walk into work, the self-proclaimed hippie banker, half avatared, half Shannon, I let my wild hair fly, my colorful dresses flow, and my attempts at zillennial lingo solidify me as one of the cool ones. Further, I relish in the opportunity to solve complex problems as a lifelong lover of puzzles. I get great joy out of connecting people around common interests as the kid who talked too much in class. And the athlete in me loves driving outcomes and people to success, because who doesn't like to win? Each day, I take one step closer to self, with visions for a fully aligned life, free of generational trauma, societal demands, and familial expectations. Our individual willingness to align to the people, places, things, activities, and behavior that are suited to our authentic self is where the magic of life happens, is the secret sauce that allows us to move through life with ease, overcome obstacles with grace, and tap into those simple moments of joy. And the most beautiful thing about all of this is that when you do it, you invite others to do the same. So not only do you owe it to yourselves to live full and fully, we owe it to each other. We owe it to ourselves and the world to show up fulfilled. Now, the irony in Polonius' statements is that he did not live that truth himself, and his hypocrisy led to his death. That's not to say that living inauthentically will lead to your death, but you must ask yourself, if you are not living fully, then are you truly living at all? So I would challenge you in this moment, will you remove your mask? Will you cease the self-betrayal? Will you see your value, your currency, your power? Will you let the real you stand up? We need you. Thank you.